Luke, so right here we have the Jacare fight. It's a Strikeforce legendary fight with you.
This was an amazing fight right here, dude. I'm a Jacare fan and Luke fan. This was one of the best fights ever. All 5 rounds, right, Luke?
Yeah, 5 rounds.
All 5 rounds.
I've
This
never
is
been
for the
out
title.
first round.
This is a title fight, right?
Title fight.
He was the champ, or you
He
were
was
the
the champ. I was off for like 19 months, and
Dude.
I never been out of the first round. I was like,
Wow.
fuck, what are we doing here?
Yeah, I was going to say one of the commentators during this fight, the audience can't hear the audio, is saying that you have never been out of the first or second round or something like that. And then you had to go fight this guy for the title.
Remember Wheatsy?
Is there anything that you remember, Gilbert, from Strikeforce that's different from UFC in terms of the fighting style, the audience, the atmosphere?
Well, what I loved is we fought in a hexagon, not in an octagon. And I believe the diameter, even though it's not a circle, was smaller. So you're fighting like in maybe a 26-foot cage versus like a 30-foot diameter in an octagon, which is more of a circle. So I thought we pressed the action more. Hence why we're fighting in a ring now too. And in my fight show, we do a hybrid show and MMA in a ring and MMA and Muay Thai in the ring. But I really believe if you fight in these close quarters here, look at this. Look at Rockhold was 2 steps from getting Tim Kennedy against the fence here. Look at that. Oh, look at those crazy hands going, man. I love it. Underhook.
Tim Kennedy's a dog.
He was just so frustrating to fight.
Yeah.
But I like that smaller cage. I feel like it increased the action. There was a lot of action because of that. You can see
Was that Joe Rogan? Was that Joe Rogan in the audience? Hold on. I think that was Joe Rogan right there with that hat and the white
Randy
tee.
Couture. Randy Couture.
It's Randy.
That's Randy.
Sean
Oh, yeah, it's
Shelby.
Randy Couture right there. Sean Shelby.
Yeah, the UFC had owned us at this point.
Was this the San Diego card?
This was Oregon.
Okay.
Damn.
Beautiful. Yeah, I remember the UFC bought us out.
When did they move from the hexagon to the octagon and vice versa? Like, who did it first?
Oh, well, the UFC was always in the octagon. Just when we had a hexagon in Strikeforce, it was just the cage. You can get like an 8-sided cage or a 5 or hexagon. Was that a 5-sided cage, right? What's the hex? 6?
6 and 8.
6. Yeah, it was a 6. I mean,
6 and 8.
yeah, it was a 6. It was a 6-sided cage out there, and I think it increased the action more. And we had a smaller diameter right there.
Did you guys enjoy the atmosphere of the Strikeforce fights more than UFC?
Well, I didn't know how great I had it, right? Because I fought in my backyard in San Jose. I'm San Francisco, but I could sleep in my own bed. All my fans would show up. I fought there like 9 times. I fought there for the UFC title against Benson. Everyone's like, "Let's go, Gilbert." Like you miss those moments, and you don't really get those when you're like in the UFC, and they're like, "Oh, you're going to be fighting in Alberta, Canada, or you're going to be fighting somewhere else." So. You love fighting at home, and Luke knows when he fought at home. I mean, he's Santa Cruz legend, Santa Cruz legend, Bay Area legend out there, and when he comes out, dude, it's a roar, because people have seen our fights over and over there. So yeah, you do miss fighting in front of your crowd, and you miss wearing your logos and supporting your team and all those sponsors to support you. You miss that part about it.
Yeah, no, the individuality has been taken away, and that's like the thing of how you get so familiar with fighters is that everyone got to rep and rock what they believed in and what they were, and so people could take to that. Now these days, it's just you don't even know who's who.
Yeah, I loved it. I put like Santa Ana and Old E on my shorts in San Francisco. Luke could
old
put Santa.
You put Old E on
Oh,
your shirt?
yeah.
What's going on the mic, Jay?
You know what I'm saying.
I love the
Hello,
atmosphere.
OJ.
I love the atmosphere too of some of these names. And Gilbert, I want to get to your Benson fight right after this. But even Luke, when you were fighting these guys, obviously a lot of these guys ended up going to the UFC, the ones that they
Beautiful,
wanted.
Luke.
But you guys had the ability to build one of the craziest reputations and personalities as fighters. I feel like because of the like I said, the sponsors and the way you were able to have that individual style. Did you guys have the same team from Strikeforce going into the UFC? Like, did you keep all the exact same guys for sparring, for training, for everything? I know the scrap pack, of course, but what about everybody else?
No, absolutely. I just, by the time I went to the UFC, I would say it was like the beginning of the 4th quarter of my career and all that too as well. So man, you outlast training partners, right? When you start in your first fights in 2001 and your last ones in 2019, your training partners from the beginning aren't really there. There's a few, but some hang it up and move on, and they did 12 years, and hey man, you understand they have to move on, and so yeah, you have to cultivate a new batch of people who want to be there for you and be as dedicated. It becomes a challenge.
It's iron sharpens iron world, and if some people get old and go away. So it's the thing I kind of experienced. Kane and Habib was never around. Habib was always in Russia. DC was kind of retirement. I was still there, and so I was like, "Fuck, what do I do? I can't just be here and not like I need people to push me." So that's why I ended up making the move with Henry Hooft. Things just started falling apart. Everyone was.
That's when you went from AK to Kill Cliff, or before? What was it called before Kill Cliff?
It was our own gym. Really, they had broken up the Black Gazillions, and so they were just doing their own thing.
But it was called something before Killcliff.
Black Gazillions.
No, it was something else though. Killcliff was called. It was sponsored by a hospital.
Black Zillions what it was first.
Sanford.
Oh,
Sanford.
yeah.
We renamed that. Before that, it was Black Gazillions, and then it was
Got
HK Kickboxing, and then I got this. My manager Dave Martin got the sponsor from Sanford, and then we built this massive Sanford gym, and then they converted that.